it'll be live, obviously. Let's fucking go.
Did it work? Let's go. Okay.
Frankie Poppy.
Frank did it.
Yo, that's all it took. All right, let me unshare my screen because that's gonna get hectic. Let's fucking go. Gosh dang, who needs devs, man?
So which link is it then?
It's the new link I tweeted out. Yeah. So hey, if you're in the chat, retweet the shit out of that link. What was that? Yeah, Frank.
Fixing the knit.
Was that easy?
Bro, yeah. Did you sign out and sign back in again to this?
Yeah, did you fucking
Oh, bro, I just realized. Yo, when I was testing the Twitter one, I live streamed. Yeah. I live streamed my office, my desk a little bit when I was testing the Twitter one, trying to pivot. So, all right. New link is good. I'm going to chuck a retweet on that real quick. Not that it'll matter because Frankie's retweet will,
send
fucking,
it.
Overshadow all of ours. But, all right. Hey, and if you stuck around the live stream, you're like one of those people that owns their dead god and minted their tubes immediately and is going to hold their tube at the matching number. You're going to get paid. We went from 80, almost 100 concurrent viewers down to 16. So good old delay, get rid of the non-believers. We're ready to get this shit started. All right. I'm going to actually start the pod now, do the intro and all that. Working for sure. We got Days in the live stream chat saying we're Gucci. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna fire it off real quick to the usual group chats, the usual suspects, and then we will take this spaceship to the moon. So UK DeGods, Banda Dow, Nippies, D Nudes, Guzzlers, Mickey DeGods walk in, Jit Dow, the Aussies. That should do. Oh, yeah, I said Mickey's. All right. Live stream derugged. Let's fucking go. All right. Appreciate everyone's patience. Of course, first fucking delay rug we have in the 4 or 5 weeks we've been live streaming is when we get Frank on. Maybe it's you, bro. You might be cursed.
Me?
Anyways.
Wait, bro.
I'm just saying. Just saying. All right, let's get this actual show on the road. What? You got something to say?
We're live.
I just want.
Shout out to Frank, bro.
Let's go.
Episode 1.
Fucking go. Let's fucking go. This one's empty. It's my backup. My fucking boy. All right. Let's get this show on the road. Get this intro going. Poor Matt's going to have to figure out how to edit out all this bullshit. But, hey, that's what we pay him for. All right. Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome to episode 26 of DeGodCast, the podcast by DJs for DJs, where absolutely nothing is financial advice. Today is September 6th. It's JB, part of your trio of hosts. As always, we appreciate y'all tuning in, and if you want to support the pod, please like and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. Feel free to chuck love over to DeGodCast.soul, but most importantly, tell your friends to tune in. This week's episode is brought to you by Barrel Dow. Barrel Dow is an alcohol and beverage incubator launching the next generation of beverage brands with top NFT communities. Barrel Dow is the project behind the DeGods Tequila, the DJ Ape Academy beer, and most recently, the Solana Summer Shandy, which came out last week. Barrel Dow is opening its first tasting room in December at Art Basel, Miami, and permanent locations in New York City, LA, and Miami next year. You can officially join Barrel Dow this December when they mint their NFT collection. 100% of the proceeds from that collection will go to a community treasury, all of which will go towards building a native crypto global beverage brand. If you want to try Barrel Dow, the most recent drop, the Solana Summer Shandy, is still available on secondary. You can purchase a 16-pack receipt on Magic Eden under the collection Barrel Dow, one word, BARRELDAO. go to barreldow.xyz, apologies, /redeem and fill out the form, get your shandy shipped to you off script. This shit fucks. If you don't even drink, get a pack because the art on the Solana Summer shandy can is absolutely iconic. Like piece of Solana memorabilia you'll want to have forever. It's got every main project on there. It's got Frank on there, your boys on there. So I'm gonna shill it till I die. Not gonna lie, I had like 8 of these last weekend. No hangover the next day. Shit goes down like water. So yeah, you know me. Bullish on booze, bullish on barreled out. Anyways, all right. We got everyone's favorite bag pumper in the building with us today. Mr. Frank DeGods, about to touch each other. I mean, touch on all things Utes, DeGods, Dust Labs, you name it. But before all that, Chapter, hit him with a decap.
All right. Yo. Shout out to everybody who stayed up way too late last night. And salute to the hardest working team in the world for dropping the deluxe mint experience for most of us. Mrs. Chapter's first mint. We out here. But for the recap, we got to start with the history. Oh, September 23rd, 2021. Aries, the god of war, or the god of war, I should say. ID number 270 was minted, and the streets were triggered because it went to the vault of this toxic motherfucker named Dylan, spamming the pre-sale Discord. This was back in the day. We didn't have slow mode, mods, none of that. Just premium violence. 50 messages per second. He was flexing on us. Anyway, Dylan won the day. First helmet ever, but exiled and to be continued. Fast forward a year, September 1st, everybody talking about Solana NFTs, and many holders have actually become project founders, cultural icons, and even custodians of peace of the realm on Twitter. Last Thursday, my man Turned Up Dylan finally decided to list the Grail and let it go for 7,033.3 SOL, or 221,000 USD, or as many would say, free, marking it as the highest DeGod sale to date. Shit was wild. Congrats to the homies Dylan and free lunch on the transaction. In other news, Utes were announced, then announced, and then announced, and delayed. Madness, coffee, cortisol, motherfuckers was awake. But finally, last night, we seen emojis transition from clown faces to aubergines when the streets made it to the end of the live countdown to turn their motherfucking dust to tubes with the claw machine. Tubes Trading launched on Magic Eden with the new Pro Trade feature with the real-time listings and quick buy features for sweepers and manual snipers, volume slapping. Shout out to the homies who made some flips. Shout out to the homies who ain't taking the risk to list. Yo, artists may or may not have AC, so you know they chefing up that heat. They ain't got a choice. Reveal at the end of the week. Art's coming. Dust Labs talking about raising seeds. I can relate, but neither of us talking about plants. Fucking Kevin coming. Pause. AMA on September 8th. Set your reminders. Finn still in Azkaban. Free my guy. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go, dude. Holy shit. One of the best recaps possibly ever for one of the most hype weeks possibly ever. Holy shit. Well done. Yeah, so like I said, Papa Frank on the pod. If you're new to the game, new to DeGods and all that, I'm going to tell you right now, go back, listen to episode 1, because we ain't doing all that. We're not doing the background. We're starting here and now. We're getting into fucking Utes. We're getting into Dust Labs. We're getting into all that shit. So, Frank, how you doing, though? How's it feel? First of all, like, congratulations, obviously. Huge. Almost sell out. I mean, it's going to fucking sell out. Let's be real. But, like, you dropped the mint. You know, we're here. How's it feel?
So close to being excited.
Does it feel good?
There you go.
No, not yet.
It's so funny. It feels
just like
last year.
Sold out. Stress level went from like 80 to like 200.
You know,
because
we had no idea what the fuck we were doing. But we sold out of the mint
last year.
And
the only difference is right now we haven't sold out.
yeah. Selling
It's just there's bugs, right? There's
errors
in the scholarship. The waitlist still has to go, and so there's people like begging me,
give them more information there, and I'm trying to relay it as soon as it's I'm starting to have felt
in this
entire year for
just like run it back and
do it like information that we've learned. Like this time,
we're not gonna be burnt out
coming
into this mint.
into this secondary. We're energized and about everything that's happening with Utes and with
DeGods and with
Dust Labs, and I feel like we're
2022
and to 20 going to be like our prime too, and I'm just excited to take everything we learned last year and run it back times 10 this year.
Hell yeah. Season fucking 2. Okay. We will though. We
it's like season 3.3 because season 1 was mint, like pre-sale,
the mint, and then all the way to
December.
Was like
okay.
And
now I think we're on season 3
technically, and even
DeGods technically season 2. So
yeah, second year.
I'm down for season 3.33. I will say everyone in the YouTube stream is yelling at us that your audio is rugging. I don't know if you can do anything about your connection or not, but if not, hey, it is what it is.
No way.
That's all right. It be like that sometimes. But fuck it, we ball, and luckily this is not a Twitter space. This is I mean, if you can get on a better connection real quick, we can see if it helps, but you guys are in the middle of the fucking desert right now or somewhere with no AC? All right, we'll give you a second.
Hold on.
Normally we tell our guests to go fuck themselves, but you're special. So this is possibly the most chaotic episode of the podcast yet, but hey, wouldn't have it any other way.
Absolutely
Very
not.
on
Absolutely
brand.
not.
Very on brand for what the fuck has been happening this week. So who's what is this?
Definitely was Cuddles and DeGods.
Yeah,
were hammered.
I thought you were gonna say Jeff Quatinus because he personally was
he
chaotic.
brought a different type of energy to the show for sure.
Yeah, that was a different type of chaotic. Who's in the chat that has like a check next to their name? Are you verified? Are you YouTube verified? Eva? That's pretty fire. All right, we'll give Frank a couple seconds here to, I don't know, get his life together. This,
You can hear Frank over here, so it's just on the YouTube that it's fucking up.
Yeah, no, he sounds great for us. So it's probably his connection because Riverside, grabs everything, like live or whatever. But we'll give him a second. If not, I mean, like I said, luckily this is a podcast, not a Twitter space that's not recorded, so everyone will get a chance to listen to it eventually anyways. Let's who's got questions in the chat that I'll answer without Frank? Waitlist period enjoyable. I don't believe you, Omid. I don't think anyone enjoyed being waitlisted. Trying to see if you're gonna get a chance to mint or not. Eva flexing with the check. Are you listed? You got a tube?
Yo,
you got tubes? We'll let the chat tell us. Spit some bars real quick.
Test.
Testicles.
1-1.
Yee?
Better? Okay.
Yep, sounds better. All right.
It's better. Let's go.
Sick.
We're good. All right. Do you want to, give the chat your little pamp up speech about what season we're at and how fired up you guys are to get going after this mint? Do you want to run that back real quick? Your call.
Yeah, I'm down. I mean, I'll try to make it shorter this time. Essentially, this is feeling very reminiscent of the DeGods mint last year, where there's a lot of hype, and we definitely had some technical problems and still dealing with a lot. So we haven't completed the mint yet, but I'm already starting to get excited because where us as a team operates the best is when we have a locked-in community. They're already in there. We're not spending marketing to people outside. We're focused on people in the community, an awesome experience to be a part of, and then focusing on like what the next big idea is and then building to that. And that's where I want to get to with Utes, and we're almost there, but we're not yet. And that's where I think we're going to get really exciting. And I think we just have learned a lot running a project over the last 11 months. And so if you're a part of the Tubes Utes community right now, just know that in the same way we're and still are, like, we're expanding, and I think we can handle it and do it better than anybody else.
Let's fucking
And
go.
Dust
All right.
Labs, too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got two ways we can take this off rip. We can get into Dust Labs or we can get into Utes. What do you want to do first?
Whatever you guys want to do.
Let's do Dust Labs
Utes first.
Utes first. All right. Chapter.
Yeah,
You-
Utes first. Yeah, Utes
All
first,
right.
and then we'll fucking get into fucking Dust Labs.
All right, Utes first. So before we get into any details, questions, shit like that, Utes reveal Monday,
Yes.
most likely.
Yes.
Okay, most likely. Okay, I want to know, on the topic of the reveal, how much has the art changed since the first sneak peek that we saw?
A good amount. I think the face is different a little bit. I think definitely a lot more interesting stuff happening with the furs and trait selection. I mean, there was like 10 something traits in there. I think some of those aren't even going to end up in the final collection. You guys know how it went with DeGods, Dead Gods. Like, it's gonna be different. So yeah.
You did not rug the Shoey hat, right? I swear to God.
I cannot wait for you to see what the final looks like,
Bro. All right, cool. Let's
I hope
fucking
you get
go.
it. I really do. I really do.
First of all, if I don't get one, I'm hoping there's somebody out there in the community that's like, damn, you know who really needs this? And I'll trade him any of my fucking Utes for it.
Yeah, bro, you're getting
Let's
fucking
fucking go.
taxed.
Yeah,
Bro.
that's what I'm
you're gonna
hoping
love
for.
it.
I'm gonna get
next
taxed
level.
so hard,
That
bro.
trait is next level.
Fuck. All right, that's gas. Okay. All right. We made Scum do this with Dead Gods pre-reveal. What's your favorite Ute trait? And it can't be one that we've already seen.
You know what I love? It's not one specifically, but it's the different hairstyles. Because the artists have figured out a pretty creative way to do hairstyles on these guys, and it's elite. And so I think character to each of the Utes, and so I love the hairstyles. They're awesome.
Okay, interesting. I did not picture Utes having different hairstyles. Figured it'd be all like head traits and shit. I'm about that though. All right, one of the bigger, I guess you could call it conspiracy theories, maybe, that everyone on our side, the DeGod side, has been talking about is all of our Dead Gods and tube numbers match. Tell me that that's not a coincidence and that there's going to be some kind of hey, if you have, the matching Dead God and tube number, you're going to get something sick.
That's a good idea. It's not a coincidence. It's just a technical implementation. You want to reserve one for all the DeGods, and so that's the way we map the numbers. The way that the reveal will work is it's still random. Updating the image itself, it's going to be you burn it, and at that point of burning, it'll be a random Ute that you get. But that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the mints, like the Ute that you get, would be special in any type of way.
I get what you're saying. I think it's a good idea. I think do that. Let's go. I'm down. Yeah.
Hey, yo, and then you somehow tie that to somebody that has a matching Ute DeGod number and bought merch, and let's fucking go. Let's reward that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of merch, back in the day, you said that it would be like Amiri merch, I think, for Utes, and it would be ready day one. We still tracking for that?
I've changed my mind a lot on how I think about merch. A lot. Going through the pain of doing this DeGods merch. Here's what I think we're going to end up doing for the merch for both DeGods and Utes, and I think it's what will make everybody happy. What we're going to do is we're going to work with one of these, on-demand shipping, merch companies that will allow us to just set up a Shopify website, have official DeGods and Utes merch. It'll be using champion blanks, the high quality Hanes stuff, nothing that crazy. And we'll have that 24/7, always stocked up, and always adding kind of new products based on whatever the manufacturer puts in. And the shipping should be, within 5 to 6 that. And so that's going to be streamlined. And then for the quarterly drops, what we'll do is we'll actually just do accessories only. So I think that'll be actually allow us to get more creative, where we can do kind of crazy accessories that are only available once a quarter, and then they never come back. And so I think that's how we'll do the breakdown of merch, because I think logistically speaking, you want people to have all the merch they can access and rock the brand wherever they go, and be proud to rock the brand and get it in a reasonable amount of time, as we've learned. Try some shit, do some
Yes.
shit. And on the other side, you also want really high quality premium stuff that's just like you can't get anywhere else. So that I think is the best of both worlds.
That makes absolutely perfect sense. Like, some of the shit that we got in the most recent merch drop, we could have just got as like your everyday DeGod's shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then still have, premium, quarterly, or seasonal, whatever you call it, drops that are like limited too. So like I bought some extra shit, and like in a year I'm gonna sell that extra shit for like $1,000 a t-shirt. So
Word.
all right, fuck with that. Balaclava is still rugged, as you can see. So all right, second biggest question I think on a lot of the DeGod's holders' minds is what's going to be the deal with the stacked staking versus singular staking?
Let me actually explain this. My brethren in the DeGod's community help me make this more clear. What I mean by stacked staking is not that you need to have a UT and a DeGod in the same wallet, nor do you need to hold both of them. What it is, think about it like this. I can use my hands to make these gestures now, so it might help a little bit. So you start out with the original DeGod right here, okay? To either dead your God or keep it a DeGod. Now, there are all these people that have deaded their God over here. And now you have another option. You can either keep the tube, like not mint the tube and just have it attached to your DeGod. Or you can mint the tube itself and even burn the tube, do whatever you want. So typically with NFT projects, once you claim an airdrop, it goes down because there's some that haven't claimed it. And then those typically go higher, right? The way we want to fuck with this model is actually create a form of staking where you're still getting the dust that you expect to get, every single day that you're programmed to get with your dead. But we're going to create a staking that's exclusive only to dead gods that have claimed their UTs. And now it aligns our incentives because now for people that have gone down the path that we've sent them down, those are our favorite people to reward every time. And so for those people, we could do really interesting stuff and do monthly rewards on a time basis. So you'll be getting your dust, but you'll also be getting, a day added every single day. Like this is how many days this thing has been staked at the same time. AKA, it actually doesn't have anything to do with holding the UT itself in your wallet. But maybe we will add that in the future, which is what I think is really fun about this. What's become way more clear to me is that what we're really creating with DeGods, with UTs, all this stuff, we use game theory, but to create a choose your own adventure game. And so everyone can play. The better that we get as a project and as a team, the more clear it will be that there are different ways that you can play the game of holding a DeGod and holding a UT. And then it's my job, because I like doing this, to make sure the people that are the most loyal, that go down the paths that we send them, end up winning the game the most percentage of the time. Not saying that's the only way to win the game, but that's how I like to set it up, because it creates exactly what we have now, where you have a community that's just like, we're willing to run through a brick wall for our holders and our community. And it feels the same way likewise, where our community is willing to run through a brick wall for us. That's the magic that nobody else is able to fucking unlock in this game. And that's what's going to get us to flip apes. And that's what's going to make us the biggest projects in the world. I genuinely believe that.
Let's fucking go. Okay, so that was in response. Does that make more
sense? Because I know there's a lot of theories circulating around. Okay.
No, it definitely does. And I didn't even think of it in the sense that, like, because I just minted my fucking UTs or my tubes, and I'm holding my tubes because I want as many 1-to-1, stacks as I can. But so that was in response to, or more of a counter of the issue where you claim an airdrop, and I'm going to use DTP as the most recent example. You bought a DGen Trash Panda, you claimed your rain on it, you went and you sold it on secondary for less than you bought it for, like, immediately, right? So that was your guys' kind of way to counter that. Okay. So
and people are,
go ahead.
I was going to add, I mean, like, people are flooring right now, they're dead gods right now. And part of that, guys, is honestly just a bandwidth thing on the team. The best part about the fact that we're breaking volume records right now and the fundraise with Dust Labs is, like, you really think that we're not going to take that money and just start using our brand to go hire the most, like, the most killer devs, the most killer communication? Like, we're already on top of it. We're going to start that hiring pipeline. And once we do that, I just think that our communication and our clarity and our ability to just ship complete full cycle products is going to get so much better. And again, like, I wouldn't be here being so confident on where we're going if I really didn't feel like there's nobody that's is even somewhat in the lane that we're doing, the way that we're taking this game, like with DeGods and with Utes. So that's why I'm like, all right, man. Usually, you know, me, Frank, when the floor 100, 200 soul, like I'm one of the founders that like, I don't mind commenting on it. Like I'll talk about it because I know there's people in the community that get nervous, get stressed, and I want to be there to make sure they don't fucking freak out. But this time I'm just like, dude, it's not that I don't care. I just think I need fucking time to operate. My team needs time to operate. My team needs time to rest a little bit. And I feel just really good about the direction we're taking both these projects in. And if people are down for, it's going to be a fucking ride. Just accept that it's going to be shaky and for a little bit until we smooth everything out. But that's why we did the raise. That's why we're hyped on Utes and everything that's coming with Utes in a new expanded community that is fucking dope. This is like kind of my summary of where we're at right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bigger than
no, that's facts. And that's honestly, that's been one of my favorite parts about being a DeGods holder since day one is like, I don't have to do a fucking thing, bro. I just kick back and I let you guys do all the hard work and I just play the game, do what you indirectly tell us to do. Like I've talked to a couple of guys in the last week or so that like haven't even deaded their gods because they're like, oh, I think so-and-so it's going to be. I'm like, dude, it's literally been, bro. It was written day one. Like, don't play the fucking, like, play the game. Don't fucking game to play. Dead your gods, stack that dust. And that's been, my same answer to people who are like, maybe I'll mint like 3 of my 4 tubes and I'll save the 4th tube for later. I'm like, bro, why? Like, what's going to be the point of that? They're already raising the price on you if you fucking wait. Like, you think they're punishing you once already. They're not going to do it again. So, all right, perfect. Love hearing that. I got more shit on Utes, but you touched on Dust Labs for a second. So let's kick it over there real quick because I think, obviously that announcement happened basically in the middle of the mint last night. A lot of people are talking about it. Maybe not as many would be talking about it or are talking about it as they would be if it had happened on its own. Dust seed round, 7 million from investors, half in Dust, half in Dust Labs itself. Can you give us like some insight on that, some more details on that, as much as you are allowed to?
Yeah, let me tread carefully here, I guess. Here's my thoughts. Dust Labs is a vehicle for us to take everything that we've learned building, and this is the key with DeGods that look, I'm happy all the time, this, but I'm also down to flex a little bit of where I think we've done a good job. I don't think you can point to a single NFT project in the last 11 months that's as consistently as we have. And I think the reason for that is the approach that we take to growing the project itself. And so we've learned a lot from doing that. And there's a lot of technology involved in the back end, through this process. And as I've talked to more and more NFT ecosystem, I just realized there's a sore lack of tools that actually like make sense for NFT projects. And so that is like where the inception of Dust Labs kind of came from. And okay, I'll drop some. Now it's a podcast.
Let's
I can
go.
talk to you guys a little bit. Okay, so
let's fucking
one of the
go.
interesting models that we have for Dust is I don't think that. Okay, so I'll get back to the Dust Labs. Reframe everybody. This is a reframe of something I think is really crucial to Dust, which I know a lot of people that are listening are thinking about. I don't think it makes sense for Dust to be a currency. It's not a currency. At the end of the day, it's a utility token. And so the definition of a utility token isn't that you use it to spend on different things. It's that it's core to a certain utility. And what I've learned with the Dust token, just watching organically using it, they use it for one key purpose almost every time. Anybody that's not DeGods, it's for attention. Like it's to get the attention of either the DeGods community, the broader Solana ecosystem, and it works. Like people get a lot of users. Some projects have minted parts of their supply in Dust, almost always sells out. Like people do products like D-Beans, DeGod displays. Even if people don't spend using Dust, it is such a mechanism to guarantee the Frank retweet and get attention from people that are part of a diehard community. So the is, okay, problem solving. It's kind of difficult to use Dust to spend because if you accept it as as payment, the problem there is that now you basically have to dump Dust in order to realize any kind of gains. And it's not that it either because it's kind of hard to track what that price opportunity cost is. So here's the idea. We learned this from the Paper Hand Bitch Treats bot, where what we did is we created, something where to incentivize people to buy the floor for DeGods. We said, if you buy the floor, we'll take the 10% we're getting in royalties back in dust. But the mechanism for that isn't us giving dust from our treasury. It's actually a script that buys dust off the open market. Market buys dust and then sends it over to the to the end holder. And so what we're going to do with Dust, and what everyone is going to do with Dust, is we're just going to launch a simple API that lets people accept payments in USDC, Sol, whatever, and it'll just have a auto buy of Dust with a percentage, whatever they allocate. And this will help, I think, create a proper fucking Dust ecosystem where people can create for-profit businesses, but we're all supporting one goal. So everyone that's a Dust holder, the DeGods community, we can all support a fucking merch business, and we can just pay in USDC or Sol or USD. That, hey, 5%, 10% is going back to buying Dust, and this will all be powered through this Dust DAO, all this stuff. But that is like a high level of how we want to flip the game a little bit on how people think about utility tokens, because now there's an actual utility, because you're going to have a community of diehard people that are all about the Dust community, the Dust token. It will help you get attention, your first users, and just building a proper business without having to worry about the volatility of a token. And that is at a high level. And I'll finish the rant here, guys. With Dust Labs, the core thing is there are so many opportunities that we've seen throughout DeGods to build really solid software that would, I think, scale. And bringing in Kevin DeGods, who will introduce himself soon on the Thursday AMA. He's been building software businesses for 20 years. I've known him for 3 years. He minted DeGods. He knows all about the culture, but he's also absolute savage. Like, there's no way any other NFT tech company or startup has the level of talent that we're company, plus the distribution that we get from DeGods. I just think we're going to build, a lot of infrastructure for NFTs and bring on A-level engineers to make it happen. Because right now we're very scrappy in the way we do things, and it's taken us this far. But what gets you, I'll wrap up here. What got us from 0 to 1 will get us from 1 to 100. And so we need to change the way we're operating in a big way. And I think is exciting about Dust Labs. And okay, can I add one more thing? Is this all tracking right now?
Yeah, let's fucking go, bro. Yeah. Hey, for this shit, bro. Let's go.
So the final piece of it is, I am very passionate on making sure that Dust Labs and DeGods and Utes are all very separate entities, because I don't think it makes sense to raise venture capital for an NFT project on the IP and the community. I think that the main stakeholders for an NFT should be the holders. Like, it shouldn't be confused who are the main stakeholders. It's like, I don't ever want to have to make about what VCs are going to think, for DeGods or for Utes versus what our holders are going to think, because that's where we're going to win, is by making.
Did he just hard rug for anyone else?
Fucking rug every time, bro. Every fucking time, bro.
Making sure.
Oh, he's back.
Hey, Frankie, you literally hard rugged after, like, it's not about what VCs want, it's about what the holders want, and making sure, and you rugged like that.
Making sure that our number one priority with DeGods, held under D Labs, is all about, those holders and doing things that will drive value back to those holders. And what we're doing with Dust Labs, we want to build a killer business. I believe that, Dust is this is actually the best way to frame it. Dust is a permissionless decentralized protocol. We actually think if we were independent people, like, Dust is one of the most interesting fertile grounds to build a pretty massive and viral software business around, because there's like 100,000 holders of Dust on Solana right now. Soon, DeGods are going to hit emissions curve end. And what we've basically done with Dust in a crazy way, the experiment played the full way through. We bootstrapped a very strong token with simple tokenomics, with the most diamond-dicked in all of NFTs. Pew. And now I think we've set up the ground for Dust to have a totally like separate life from just only being attached to one project or one community. And then for DeGods, we're just going to transition to the time-based staking. That's the idea behind the stack staking. Like, as time goes on, I think a lot of us in here feel this way. Most DeGod holders that come in now are not that incentivized by dust because you're not printing that much dust anymore, as by design. And so as we transition into season 3.33, it's very important to me that we find a different incentive mechanism and ease the as dust starts to take a life of its own. That's the idea.
Okay. So fucking that's a lot, but yeah. So are we talking dust? You say time-based rewards. Are we saying, dust is fully mined in December, dead gods, DeGods stop earning dust from staking in December, but there's potentially still ways to earn dust if you're a holder?
Potentially, yeah. Nothing locked in
cool.
there.
Anything
It's
possible?
Those are one of the earning dust, right? It's one of those things where we'll figure it out as we go. It's like pretty loose on how we figure that out. No big ideas there. And again, I think you tell me, you guys tell me, right? I just think that over time with DeGods, the focus used to be so heavily. There was a time where every day I would get a question of what's the next dust utility. And now I hear that, but I don't get that question as often. And I think that's even outside of it's actually more from people outside of the DeGods community that ask me about that. And it's a factor of the fact that literally, you're getting, you got halves 3 times now, right? Or two times now. And so there's going to be another halving coming in. And so I just think it matters less to DeGod holders over time. So we got to adapt. And I think it's playing out more beautifully than I could have possibly imagined.
Yeah, those halvings, yeah, super beautiful. Love seeing that number just go down every time. But I mean, no, that was, and you always have it in the recap too to remind me. Thanks a lot. No, that was gonna be one of my questions though, right? Because we had Dead Gods as the first big utility for dust. Now we've had Duppies and then eventually Utes as the second big utility for dust. Me personally, I've used dust as an allowance, buy whatever cool shit I want on Solana with it. And I know a lot of other holders probably treat it the same way. Some people maybe floor it for, actual real money. Some people are just bag holding it forever and ever and just have absolute stacks. But so what is going to be the next big utility for dust, or is there not one and it's just going to be this universal utility token?
I think when we drop this kind of payments API, it'll be a lot better. I think that's going to have a lot of utility and a lot of natural, if people listen back to the recording, just kind of listen to the mechanics that I can't comment. Listen to the mechanics that I mentioned, and then you can draw your own conclusions. But I think it'll be
in that scenario where I'm paying for something for a product, a good in USDC. Am I, let's say I'm not on the consumer side, I'm the merchant. Am I choosing that I want I want dust? So okay, let's say I'm selling coffee for $50 a bag, you pay 50 USDC. Am I choosing I want that instantly swapped into dust and that's the token I want to collect? Or what did you mean by you can choose a percent of it?
So it's similar to when I'm part of, if you're part of a club, okay, if you're part of a club and you're making, revenue being part of this club, it's let's say it's an e-commerce club and everybody is part of this club and they all help kind of hype each other up or whatever. And to pay back to the community for the attention, marketing, whatever you're getting, you just take a percentage of whatever you're making and then you just put it, you pay that back to the overall community. That is the core mechanism here of, hey, as a community, we're all incentivized, aligned. Distribution for all these different software products, physical goods, NFT projects that are kind of part of the bigger, broader dust ecosystem. And the way that they pay it back for all the members of the community being a part of it in a very loose, non-transactional way is just by automatically, auto swapping X percentage, and it could be very low of whatever they're making in revenue into dust.
Okay, and then the merchant collects that dust.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. So, and that's going to be one of the softwares, obviously, that Dust Labs is building. The first one being the scholarships platform.
Well, I think what we're trying to do now, as we've learned a little bit from this process, is we've learned a lot of mistakes that went through with the scholarship process. But I'm excited because I think we're going to transition that actually to an after mint well. And so if I think about it, what's the worst part about the scholarships? It's all the engagement farming. It's all of like the people being very desperate, and also people that are just like us not having the perfect judgment on who we picked. I'm the first one to admit that. Fair. But once you've minted, the idea of organizing your community, kind of like what I'm doing in a very rough way with the Utes community right now, it's actually not a bad idea. So now that's the next test we're on, is how do we kind of repurpose this to help make our community get more out of being a part of the project, because now you can categorize, you can kind of log what all the value props everybody brings. If there's like a bar owner in Atlanta that wants to give people free drinks if they own a fucking ute or whatever it is, like how do we collect all that information in a clean way? So that way the end product to the holders of the, I buy the NFT, I'm holding it, and I get to immediately see on a clear list all of the actual utility that's coming from the community, not just the project itself, which can oftentimes be a bigger utility than what a project can even provide in the first place, is the people that you meet and the connections that you make in the project itself is the idea.
Yeah. A couple of comments on the scholarship thing, being somebody that, reviewed them and whatnot. First of all, from the start, like the comparison of grinding in a Discord for weeks, maybe months to try and get whitelist versus firing off one banger Twitter thread, explaining all of your strengths and what you can provide to the community. I don't like the engagement farming, and that started as more of like a work smarter, not harder thing on our end, the team's end, because rather than, just flick through 70,000 applications and a lot of them are absolute dog shit, I can go on Twitter, I can say, hey, shill me yourself, and I can look at that, and a lot of those are going to be dog shit as well, but I can get the ones that seem good, and I can go straight to their application, and I can say, okay, now I review this guy actually looks good, I'll give him a good score or whatever. So I still think, like, even with that, bit of maybe toxic engagement farming at the end, I still think that compared to the whitelist meta grind that we had seen for months prior to this mint is like a absolute win for the entire ecosystem.
Can I just say?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was just going to say, it might be a little unfortunate, like that, people were desperate and they wanted to get in, but that's really not something that's avoidable. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the hottest mint ever, almost. Like
70,000 70,000 applications, 70, like a little over 3,000 spots, like of fucking course. But then that's the same thing as having a Discord server with 40,000 people in it for a 5,000 supply mint or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way it goes. It's supply and demand. Like, being mad because there was a lot of people, and nobody forced you to do anything on Twitter. You still applied. You either had a banger application, which we looked at all of them. We reviewed every application. You either had a banger application and didn't need to shill yourself on Twitter, or maybe your application wasn't that good. A lot of people had shitty applications and were like fucking chads, bro, like sick people that just didn't put a lot of thought into their application or whatever. And it was the first time this has happened, the first time anyone has seen it. So, some people maybe didn't treat it as seriously as they should have. The second thing, and this is more on like the Dust Labs side, if this, were a software that we were to sell to other projects, allow them to use, if we were to build a database of our reviews, everyone whose Twitter we looked at, which is linked to their application, the next project that goes to use this software, they already have 70,000 people's data, and they can check it over again, but they can have a starting point, whereas we had literally nothing. 70,000 applications, go through all of them, give them a fucking score. They can at least have a starting point. They can have some data, and the entire thing, as more projects use it, you can almost build like this credit score of, and this can go post mint too. So I was scrolling through Hello Moon today and I was just chuckling at all these names that I saw that are like, I would do anything to be a part of the DeGod's community ecosystem. Like, I'll hold my ute for life. And, there you go. Hello Moon snitching on you. The feds, you floored your tube. So that like it could even go post mint where we would.
I'll comment on this. I think it's important that we don't store the data. One of those things where, to me, I feel like if I've learned anything from the scholarship process, what is the most taxing piece of the is actually like reviewing all these applications. And I find that like we were able to do it because we have a big team. But imagine you're like about to mint, you don't have a big team, and it's very hard to review all these applications, right? And so one of the ideas that I liked that we've been thinking about is just doing like a weighted raffle. So, we can weight it on different criteria that we've seen. So someone can submit like a fucking bounty tweet and that can add to their like weighted score. And that like, because my least favorite part about the scholarship process by far is that it was an overwhelming amount of applications, 70,000, and for 30 something hundred spots, 3,000 something spots. And I think it just ended up being very personal for a lot of people. And if you're on the back end side of it, like me and you, JB, it's not personal, bro. It's just like, it's tough because there's so many cool people that I feel like got screwed in the process, like so many. And it sucks because I think to them, they might feel like, oh, we decided to reject them. When in reality, it was just more like right place, right time for a lot of people that got in, like just the right place. They saw the review. And a lot of people, it was just, we focused on accepting people first because that was like an easier way to kind of filter through. Because I don't think any of us wanted to reject people. I never wanted to reject anybody. And so what I learned the mistake is we postponed the rejections for way too long. And that just created this weird sentiment. So I think if we were to do it again, we'd actually probably just create a weighted raffle of sorts and have it be that system. So it's one swoop. Everyone can like get their time to submit. They know when the raffle is going to be, and everyone gets their decision all at one point. I think that would be a better way to do it.
I mean, I do think there's still something to be said for trying to handpick your community beforehand because, conversely, I have seen a lot of people floor their tubes, but I've also seen a lot of people who had a great application, got accepted, got Ute list, minted a tube, and now are like already actively providing value to the community. Like in the Discord last night when it was minting, like people were in there just absolutely vibing. You know what I mean? Those are probably not
about the new community, man.
Yo,
like,
and I see the chat right now. We're not going to sell. Like we didn't really collect that much data. We got your Twitter account. And then like 203
questions that you answered. And my
who's going to want to buy that data? I have no idea.
Right, exactly. Like it's literally all like public information. But my point was like to your point, where if you're a smaller team and you don't have the capacity to review 70,000 applications, if you can go off of even just the scores, you know what I mean? That another team has scored these people, and you build a database of these applications, then you can kind of have a starting point, maybe make it a little bit easier. I think it makes the software a little more viable for every project to use because it builds this database. Like I said, that's almost like a credit score of like, are you going to be a good community member or not? But just a thought.
Yeah.
Raffle, like you can't be mad if you lose a raffle. So I fuck with that too. I get what you're saying.
Can I ask some Dust Lab questions?
Yeah.
So we had the tweet. I think that's all that I've seen is the tweet saying that there was like a $7 million whatever buy into it by multiple parties. My question is this going to be, was any of this used to just like straight up buy Dust from the team, or was it something separate from that? And then also, like is what percentage of the company did that purchase? Is there a valuation or anything like that, or is that not public knowledge?
10%.
10%. So valued at 70 million already.
We're not math guys.
Is this Shark Tank? I was gonna say
7 times 10. I mean, that's pretty easy, I think.
Well, I'm trying to just think. I guess, dude, I can't comment too deeply on this until Thursday. But like I think, I can't.
10%, 7 mil. Okay, we'll learn more later.
Yeah, I don't know how any of that shit works, and I've watched Shark Tank, so I thought the Kevin AMA was Friday. That's Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
Okay, good to know. Okay, let's get back into some of the Ute stuff that was on the temporary roadmap, I guess. Do we have an ETA on the flags for OTC trades and the metadata tag for Dead Gods with or without a claimed tube?
Yeah, so right now our dev team has probably 6 critical priority tasks, at hand. I think priority number 1 is making sure that all these people that have been. I see a bunch of questions in the chat about the waitlist. Let me
Don't worry about the
clarify
chat. We're not going to talk about the wait
No, it's
list.
fine. It's fine. It's relevant, right? I would love to announce the wait list, and I would love to just get through the minting process. I fucking promise you guys. Like, I would love nothing more than that. I don't really enjoy the minting process. I want to just get to the like the game here, but I can't in good conscience when I know there's like certain people that have scholarships that have been trying to mint for like 10 hours now and have not been able to do it successfully. And our dev team right now is working with them to make sure they can get their mint through. We're gonna give it a hard deadline for the wait list, but like we have to get through those. There's still going to be actually a lot more spots than people think to for the wait list. And last time I checked, I think 1,300 waitlisters that are there. And so I think right now we're looking at like 580, 600 spots remaining in that pool. And so obviously not everybody's going to get it, but it's not like an astronomically low chance that people are able to mint in the waitlist. All I ask is that there's a little bit of patience around the process, because I can't in good conscience blame the people that are having trouble minting because of our errors. I can't just. And
that's how smart contract works.
We move to the waitlist part. After that, priority number 2 is metadata update. One of the pieces of the bugs that were just very critical was like, it's a difficult thing on a smart contract to also pull, and update the metadata, which I think is like not good. Like we should. What we're gonna do temporarily until we get that through is we'll just launch a tool so people can check which ones have been claimed and which ones haven't. And then from there we'll add it to the metadata. And I'm actually gonna talk to Magic Eden pretty soon and have them separate potentially dead gods that have claimed their utes into 3 separate collections. I think it actually makes more sense, because I think that they're all different. They all different things that come with.
Word.
It actually makes sense. It's kind of confusing buyer experience if you think about it. Like getting in and then the 3 types is going to be challenging. I think we can do it where we have 3 separate collections. The label or the bio, what each of those are. I think that's going to be a lot better. So we're going to get that through as well.
What would you call the dead gods that still have a tube to be claimed collection? Dead goods? 2 zeros.
I think they would just be dead gods, and then it would be like like dead gods. I don't know. We'll get creative on the
dead gods.
Okay.
So speaking of Magic Eden, there's a Eden in your life that's bringing magic to it. Do you want to speak about that at all?
Let's go. Bullish on Eden, all of them.
Yeah, she's here. It's pretty cool. But no, she's cool. I met her on crypto Twitter. But I met her. I thought she was a guy when I first started. Like
Most of them are.
Group chat or whatever, and she doesn't have like a girl PFP. And then NFT New York. At one of the parties, I was literally wearing sunglasses, but I didn't have my mask on. And she was like, "Yo, are you Frank?" And I said no at first because I was just saying no to everybody. It asked me if I was Frank. Then she's like, "Don't lie, like I know you are." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, what's up?" And then we started talking there. And we just kept talking. And she's cool. And I like her.
Yo, so you said you were gonna take a week off with baby girl once all this shit dies down. Is there where you're gonna go?
It's looking less likely now, to be honest.
Oh, come on, man, you need a break.
Shit has not died down yet, so
I know not yet, but eventually.
I really, when I talk about stuff like this, I really don't cap. Like I'm 100% truthful on this. Like I feel more energized to make all of this shit work. I don't like it. I don't like solving like one problem. I like solving like 5 and then like coming up with solutions that will solve all of them with like a few elegant solutions. And it's been a while, right? Just having DeGods only, where it's kind of more challenging to do something big because it's just tied to one thing and it's a pretty small community of 4,500 people. Now I just think the attention is on. Like think about the positives of where we're at right now and how big of a leap we could take if we do this in the right way. You got all these people basically flooding us from the ETH community. And you also have all these people that now know who we are that had no idea who we were up until this whole Utes thing, the Ute list started taking off. DeGods are at a place where, like, you know, they're having their correction or whatever, but there's a lot of curiosity around, like, now that you know what a DeGod is, like, what is that next thing that we can do that's going to make it, like, obvious no-brainer? Like, DeGods are going to be the #1 collection in the world. And I think if you guys were in God Chat the other day, we were discussing, I think, a pretty big idea around what season 3 looks like for the
Word. I was there.
there. So I think, like, stuff like that is cool. And then with Utes, man, it's such a blank canvas to me a little bit, where a lot of the ideas that I had for DeGods that now the community's taking a life of its own and it's not in that direction as much. I think we can try a lot of that stuff again with Utes. And I think the game theory around Utes is my best work, right? Like, this is my best work. I think it's going to be that's what I literally made the bio description on Utes. Like, do you want to keep the 2 or do you want to get the Ute? And so I think that's going to be.
Is it really? I love that.
Yeah.
What for the people who weren't in Discord, what does season 3 look like, or what do you think is on the menu?
You know, instead of saying all the different things we're gonna do, what I'll actually do is take it on the reverse end. What season 3 is gonna look like internally with the team is, like, all of our legal shit is in check now. We have some of the best lawyers in the world. So, like, that was used to be FUD on us.
Let's go. Shout out to compliance. Let's go.
Gone. Shout out to compliance. And right now, our biggest issue is we're transitioning a team of guys that have been working out of Airbnbs and literally scrapped together DeGods from an apartment and grew it to be this big from, like, a few apartments, maybe a house or 2 in there, of just, like, moving around for the better part of a year now. And season 3 looks a lot like bringing guys like Kevin on, bringing on professionals, and bringing on just, like, A-player talent with the brand and notoriety that we have now to come do the best work of their life with the projects and the things that we're working on. And I think just bringing that talent on and letting them run hard is going to be a huge upgrade to the ability for us to execute the bigger ideas that we have. And so that is internally what it's going to look like. And I think what that'll output with is we say these really ambitious goals all the time, and I think it's going to be a lot more likely that we pull them off.
Fuck yes. Okay. Jeez. All right. And then what about, I guess, season 1 for Utes? Like, what does that look like? Because I don't think we had the white paper for a second, and we could talk about that for a second too. Because, like, that, that's something, being somebody who's super big into, like, sub communities, Mickey DeGods was super bullish about that, because that's something we can kind of, like, really customize and build out our sub DAO and our treasury. Like, that's gone now, or tabled at least. What happens with
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like, what happened to, like, the white paper? Like, is it, like, full rug? It's not full rug, but, like, what are we looking at now?
Okay, so it's cool that I'm on DeGodCast, because when I go on these other fucking boomer podcasts, like, they're not gonna understand this. But as we started fleshing out the white paper, it gave me heavy D Palace vibes. It gave me heavy DXYZ vibes. And what I realized is, like, there was an element to it that was forcing people to do something that inherently is an organic act, and it'll happen regardless. And no amount of stuff that we do and infrastructure we build will change the rate, in my opinion, at which high quality stuff is created. And the inspiration for this was honestly talking to That Bean and I always forget. It's That Bean
Fungi.
But
it's kind of fungible. It's like, what do you fucking call them? Kind of fungi. Yeah.
So I called them, like, I think 1 a.m. or something like that one night, as we were kind of, like, really diving deep on the white paper. And I talked to them, and it wasn't like me pitching them ideas. I just wanted to hear more about what kind of motivated them to do this shit, and, like, what was the idea behind it? What do they want to do? And at the end of it, I just realized, like, there is no pathway or no product or no service or no roadmap that would have made them make Mickey DeGods. And why do I think that by having a product or service or whatever that, like, is in that lane would actually make more people do it? I really don't. And so I think the reason we scrapped the white paper at a core level is that I could see us spending a lot of time and effort on building that out and that not having an explosive result. And at this point, we're only focused on 10x results here. And so I think the direction we're going to take Utes at first is going to be fun. The first thing we're going to do is I want we as a community, we should make the branding together. Like, it's been purposeful. If you notice, the Utes branding has been pretty barren. Like even on purpose on the website itself, like it swaps the fucking logos and the brand every single time. And even with the Magic Eden like cover art, it's just literally words on a screen. And so I think it'll be really fun. We've brought on so many talented artists, graphic designers. Like, let's get the entire community working together to lock in on a brand that we fucking love and we're all hyped about for Utes. And let's start with that. And then it really is a community built brand. And let's figure out ways to kind of pay people for doing that, give them IP rights. Like, let's figure out ways to incentivize people to do really dope stuff for us and professionals to do really dope stuff for us. But that's the high level idea. Yeah.
Like the guy with the Utes restaurant. I'm bullish as shit on that. Who doesn't love food?
What? I haven't seen that.
Yo, this guy, I mean, he can tag me for days trying to get Ute listed, but he legit like owns like a pop-up restaurant in South Africa or something. Has like a fire Instagram and everything to go with it. It was like, dude, I'll Utify it. So we gave him a Ute list. When to do it? He did.
He should have just Utified it in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, he made like, burgers that said Utes and shit or whatever. But then after he got Ute listed, he sent me a DM, and they had like already added some Utes breakfast item to the menu or some shit. I was like, let's fucking go, dude. Just make it everywhere all the time, all at once. So, okay. Fucking, I mean, Utes is like still just so mysterious to me. I really just like think they're look cool as shit, and I just want a shoey hat. And like once I have a shoey hat, I'll go back into my dead god holder mode where I literally just don't fucking do anything and let the team make me bags and bags of money. One thing that has been a hot topic and personally affects me, the burned gods returning.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Ooh, yeah,
that is for sure fucking happening. And is it gonna be? I'm hoping it's not just auctions.
I want to hear your thoughts, JB. I want to hear your thoughts, and then I'm gonna go off camera, hit a vape rip, and then drink some water. So let's talk about it.
Okay,
let's go.
So
that's our founder.
Let's fucking go. I don't know why you got to go off camera to hit a vape rip, but hey, it'd be like that sometimes. I mean, I don't have that many thoughts. Like, I hope it's not all auctions, because auctions, first of all, they're basically just catering to whales to win, but I also think that you can utilize a lot more dust if you do raffles, because a lot more people are going to enter thinking they have a chance than if it's a pure auction, right? Not to mention auction, anyone who doesn't win gets all their dust back. I'm assuming it's going to be dust. It's not going to be soul, obviously. And then two things. First, do I get dibs on my god that was burned for my tattoo? And second, can we blacklist people from participating in the raffles if they rugged on their D-oath? You know exactly who you are.
First, the thing that's fixed and locked in for sure is that it will be on a daily issuance cycle. So I think some people thought and were speculating that they're all going to come back all at once. I don't think that's smart at all. That's like 5 times the number of listed DeGods, and like spread on that would be pretty bad. So we're gonna do it on a daily auction system. I mean, a daily issuance system. My thought process is like, I think the way we'll do it is actually kind of different experiments on how to do the model of like, how does a new dead god come to life? And so, and the interesting thing is the intrinsic value of these guys are different than the DeGods necessarily on the floor, because one, it'll have a Ute attached to it. Right, it'll have a tube attached to it, and then on top of that, you'll have to spend the extra 375 dust, of course. And then on top of that, it'll be, it'll also have, it'll be burned already. I mean, it'll be dead already. So it's the 1,400 dust or whatever it costs.
Yeah,
to
that's
get them.
wild.
That's like the value add there.
Yeah.
And so to me, I just think we'll probably experiment. We might do some in soul where we take like the soul, and then a percentage of that is used to buy back dust. We might do some in, dust itself as an auction. We might do some as a dust, auction. We might do some as a raffle. I think as we're a pretty data-driven team, and so for us, our number one goal isn't always to suck up as much dust as possible, because I think that creates what you got, what is ultimately like not the best user experience. Like, I think a few people in the DDAO were bringing this up where they were concerned on the other side that it would be a raffle, because it is a little bit less strategic and it is a little bit less of a game. It's fucking lucky. And I like the auctions because it is something that, it's hard to price what these all combine. Like, yeah, you can track the exact value of the floor, plus the dust, plus the tube. But at the same time, like, you also are competing with other people. The rarity of that god is going to be like, some of the rarities on these things are pretty fucking nuts. And so, like, do I want to, for example, when the Frank OG one that got burned, the first D got to get burned comes up.
Yeah.
Like, do I really want the winner of that to be from a raffle, even if it means I can get more? Do you know what I mean? Like, probably not.
Yeah, word.
And so that's what I mean. I think you just have to expect that it'll be different styles of issuance that we'll do for that. And just to, we'll listen to the community. We'll give ourselves. This is the difference between DeGod's 2021 and 2022. I've learned now that we need to set everything up in a way that will allow us to iterate on it in the future. Because anything we do that's too fixed, it just being cornered where I don't want to be cornered. Like, PHBT cornered us in a big way. And I don't want people to feel like if they're making a criticism about DeGods, like, nobody, like, making a criticism of DeGods that if it's valid, we can't fix. Because at that point, then we're in a really fucked place. So that is my core concept there.
Frank,
Yeah,
a lot of people have been kind of just chirping in DDAO about like changes that have happened and like stuff that they don't agree with. And I've been linking them this tweet that you sent that says, don't assume anything, be ready for everything to change. Because in my experience, that's been true since I joined in October, and it's always led to good things. It's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Facts. That goes back to the entire DeGod holder motto I have of just kick back and fucking let the team make you money. But all right, two things. First of all, somebody in the chat said I thought I was shaming people for selling. The D-Oath was something that happened way back in the earlier DeGods days when we were buying and burning DeGods with DAO funds, where you would go on Twitter and you would take D-Oath and you would basically make a promise and say, I will do so-and-so if you burn my DeGod. In my case, I made a promise that I would get a tattoo and sweep, however, I think it was 6, 12, 18, 20, 4 DeGods with the soul that was used to burn my DeGod. So my DeGod got burned for 4x the floor. I got a tattoo on my leg, and then I swept and I bought 4 DeGods with it. My comment was on people who back in the day made a D-Oath saying, I promise to do so-and-so if you burn my DeGod. The DAO then bought and burned their DeGods, and they never fulfilled that promise. So nothing to do with sell shaming at all. Just wanted to clear that up. Second of all, so if we're doing a dead god a day and there's 500 or so of them, we're going well past when dust emissions stop. So what's the concern there if dust is needed to buy these DeGods, whether it's raffle or auction? And then dust is also needed so they come with a tube and then you have to pay 375 dust to reveal the tube, or they come to bubble where you can mint a tube, right? But then price has also gone up to mint tubes on dead gods weekly or daily. Did that last part make sense?
A little bit. Can you rephrase? I might have been distracted reading the.
Okay, so yeah.
Sorry.
Two things. First of all, so you said you save the 1400 dust or whatever to dead it because they're going to come back dead. But the main appeal, besides the art, and it depends on the burnt god. Like some of the burnt ones were probably some of the fugglier ones. It may not be the best dead gods. The main appeal is that 3x dust staking reward, which, unless dust staking comes back in some capacity, is going to end in December. And with 500 plus burned gods, we're well past that. The second thing was, does it come with a tube and then you have to pay 375 dust to reveal the tube? Or does it come as like a dead god that I'm buying on Magic Eden today that has the capability to mint a tube? And if so, are they going to be, so we're increasing the cost to mint tubes, right? After a week, it's going to increase daily or weekly or whatever. Are they going to be subject to that same increase in price to mint tubes?
I think it's a good question. I think early on we might do it where the dust on the tube. That being said, if it's like clearly unpopular or people don't like that friction or and auctions and raffles, we'll listen to people and then we'll make an adjustment there. I think right now the initial plan is that you do have to spend to get the ute, because it's like one of those things where you still have the capability of doing it. You could argue theoretically that for some people that are not even like minting their tube, that it could be more, you accrue more value to the dead god itself, if you want to sell that all as one package. And so it's one of those things get through a little bit harder on the long-term scale. I think to start out with, we'll still have people needing to pay.
Word, don't assume anything. Be ready for everything to change.
At all times. Yeah. Facts. Okay. Yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, I was excited to hear that personally. I mean, I have a burned dead god, like I said. He might be hot now. He was a mushroom head back in the day, so now he's got that cute little skull cap and laser eyes and cloud skin and a bandana, so might have to shell out a little extra to get that boy.
Yo, Frank, are we gonna do another DeGods week here? Bounties, is that something that's going to be brought back?
In the chat, Steven in the chat, he said like maybe one of every 30 dead gods or dead gods that get issued, we could do one merit based, which would be pretty sick. I like
that would be cool. That would be very cool. It'd be like an extension of Utes list.
Yeah.
Yes, literally goes right into what Slate was about to say. One of my next questions: when Utes week or new DeGods week and bounties and all that shit?
I would be lying to you if I told you I had a plan for when that's going to be. I think it's going to happen probably, assuming it will be our anniversary. So in like a month from now, on the 1 year of the public commit, it'll be like a month from now. So probably then. Hopefully at that point, like at least 5 more people to be on the team and kind of help manage all the different shit we have going on. So
yeah,
more organized in our communication there.
Literally
ready to run through a brick wall.
I'm ready to watch you try to run through a brick wall. That sounds fucking lit.
Even right now, I'm reading people like in the chat. Like some people don't like this thing we're doing with the memes on the Utes. Have you guys seen this?
No, yeah, I've seen what they were talking about. Emmerich is running the Ute list now, or Ute account. Yeah.
Emmerich, Minister of NFTs, Luke, just a bunch of like these meme people. And
people are mad about that.
Yeah, people are upset. They think it's unprofessional, and I get where they're coming from. By the way, it makes sense. But I don't know. I just think it's like it's funny, it's fun, and we need the time today.
Twitter has not posted anything for a fucking month. Like, come on.
It kind of reminds me of
it's blowing up my notifications though.
Operation D-Truth or whatever we called it. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Oh, dude, that was gas.
But that shit was fun.
No, it's definitely different, but that was fun. That was more of a community thing. But
yeah, and I think my thing with Utes is like what people need to understand about Utes is that the growth for Utes, if it's tied too closely and it feels too close and similar to DeGods, it's not doing anybody any favors. Because it's going to lead to people that have DeGods feeling like they can just sell to get a Ute and get maybe more than one Ute. Or it's going to lead to people that are getting Utes to just flip up to. And that's where things get, I think, wrecked. Just make sure that the audience that will scale out Utes is going to start out, obviously, heavily in the ecosystem that we're in right now. But if we're going to do a good job, it's got to be different. And so, like, communication styles, like the way we kind of do shit, the thing that the critics don't understand on Twitter, and even within the DDAO itself, I know some of you guys are listening, is whenever we do something and we make a mistake on it, I can't tell you how many times we've like made mistakes or like made a bad tweet or done something that wasn't the best thought out, whatever it is. I promise you, like nobody remembers that today. And the people that do, we just laugh about it because look at where we're at compared to where we started. And so for me, like you guys trust the process even a little bit with Utes. Just like let it be a little bit loose for a bit. It's not going to be a perfect thing on day one. And it'll find its lane and we'll figure out what makes that community different than the DeGods community. And if you want it to be exactly like the DeGods community and sell your fucking Utes and just buy more DeGods if that's what you want and do whatever you're going to do, that's just not going to happen. Like they're not going to be the same project.
Facts, yeah. Real quick, just for clarification on this, and on that specific topic, So you mentioned the stacked staking. It is going to be for dead gods that have minted a tube. They will have, some extra benefit to staking. So that's, if I am somebody, and this is not me, but there might be someone out there like this who fucking hates Utes, wants nothing to do with it, just wants all the free money I got, from being able to mint my tubes. Can I floor all my tubes and just stake all my dead gods in this new system, and will I still reap some kind of benefit? Or is there, apart from being in the Utes community, is there a benefit to holding both?
There will be, not right now. Right now, it's a younger community, and the last thing I want to do is for people to have Utes. This is the tactical reason. The last thing I want people to do is feel like they have a Ute, but they need to complete the set in order to be a full member of the community. Everyone that has a Ute and everyone has a tube is on the same level, and the only benefit that you get, think about it. I think it makes the most sense. I imagine it'll be controversial, because whenever floor is down, things all of a sudden get a lot more controversial. Which is, I just think you think about it logically. If we made it so you had to hold your Ute and you had to hold your DeGod, and that was this magical, reward set, what you're basically saying to the Utes community is you're not going to get this reward because you just don't have a DeGod.
Yeah.
But what I think is a smarter approach to it is it's problem solving. The value of a DeGod, most people think a dead god will go down after they claim the Ute. If we could pull off what I think we're going to pull off, the value of people that play the game and that claim their Ute and their tube, I think will be rewarded, but it still stays separate, from the Utes game, where you could just be buying a dead god, don't even know what Utes is, and you could have bought one that's been claimed already, and you can join the stack staking, and you're good to go. And the onboarding is a lot than me saying, hey, welcome to the DeGods community. In order to fully benefit from the DeGods community, you also have
you
to
need
get
this other collection.
Yeah.
That's not
that
fair.
makes
That's
total
not
sense.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Cool.
that makes total sense. I just wanted clarification on that. So you mentioned a few minutes ago, we wouldn't do a Utes week or a bounties thing until we have a more fleshed out team to kind of handle all those extra logistics. What are we going to be looking for team member wise? Because I know a lot of people are interested in how they can join the team. What positions do you think that we might be looking for? And then to fill those positions, what will we be looking at on the personal level?
Notice me, senpai.
Or as a product manager, I think we're looking for more front end developers. I think we're looking for one or two security and back end engineers. And I think I'm looking for content people, but trying to figure out the right lane for that. That's the main, I think, right now. And then everything else is less crucial, but my philosophy on hiring has always been the same, which is we just want to bring high talent people into, and that's why I think with a pretty low headcount, pretty small team, we've been able to compete with projects and outperform projects that have 50x the amount that we have in our treasury. And the reason for that is I think we index on talent over position. And I think the transition with season 3 will be more about filling in specialized positions more than we have in the past, because that system isn't what's going to scale, and it's breaking right now, as you guys can see a little bit. Because when you have a system where it's optimized around talent, it allows us to move, it allows us to blow people's minds, but it doesn't allow us to ship fully complete products. It doesn't allow us to fully have enough, experience and enough talent and skill.
It doesn't allow you to set realistic deadlines.
It's stuff like that where it's just not in our car. There's no way. I think one guy that was very critical of the Utes mint on the EAT side, OX, mentioned it too. He's this is so say about the dev team that we've delayed 3 times. But then after that, he said one of the most difficult things to do in all programming is to set a realistic timeline. If anyone in the chat or anyone in this meeting, if you're code, when we're doing new shit like this, to give you for me to say, yo, Bob, chill. We need to make a custom smart contract that allows dead gods to claim, that also allows this, that also has this time-based thing. The idea that someone can hear that and then time it exactly when that's going to launch is a little bit, it's not possible. And I think you can get better at it. And that's what a lot of what developer experience looks like, is getting better at those timelines. But on the other end of, Bob and Chill, giving me as realistic as they can give. We have a community of people that are like literally every question that I get is like when this, when that, when this.
Just
And all they
unblock the
want
bug,
is
bro.
like a hard deadline. All they want is like a time that it's gonna happen. And those are like two competing forces that have existed with us. And where I think most projects, what they'll do is just leave everyone in the dark and kind of like not explain something until it's like full. But even projects that do that still fuck up. like even projects that time in the world to make everything perfect. The real answer, put it out into the real world. Any type of technology, any product that you're building, any business that you're building, it's going to, if it's doing well, it's gonna break, because the amount of demand that you have on that thing, it will cause unforeseen problems that will. This is like not just the small startup thing, right? This is why Google, the biggest startups biggest like tech companies in the world, they spend fucking years, thousands of employees, and there's still infamous bugs, and there's still infamous exploits, and there's a ton of shit that goes wrong. And those are as sophisticated as you could possibly get for tech companies. And I just think we're in a very early phase. We're a 9-month-old. We're really like a 11-month-old company, but I would say closer to 9 in terms of taking as seriously as we have. And we've experienced hyper growth and hyper scale, and we're dealing with it as it comes. But nobody on the team put off the gas, and we're gonna solve these problems. The new capital inflow is gonna help a lot with that. To be honest, like this is gonna be huge for the whole team.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a big knock on a lot of other teams in the space that just can't really compete and can't build on that level. And I think that's one of the things that makes like Yuga, the goal almost from a team perspective is like I'm assuming they have, I guess I'll admit, like I don't have that much, I don't know that much about them, but I'm assuming they have the team members and the capacity to put out these high level products, the fucking sick animations, all that shit that they do. So, bro, bullish on that. What about this ETH airdrop? Is that idea flushed out at all, or is that just something that's kind of like a common sense next step that's been discussed behind closed doors?
Common sense next step.
Cool. How much of the reason
to go get a charger? How much longer you guys want to go? I'm at 2%, so I'm like,
oh Jesus,
bro, go get a charger. We got to go longer than 2%.
Yeah, go get a charger. All right, quick water break. I gotta take a leak.
This is the shit you get to see in the live stream. This is raw, baby.
Fucking motherfuckers right now, they're urinating. Motherfuckers, men are out here fucking relieving themselves.
Oh my God. Well, okay, so I guess now I got some time to pay attention to the chat. Let's see some good ass questions, not some dumb ass questions. I've seen a lot of those.
No more when waitlist.
No more when waitlist. Someone just asked that. I'm gonna ban them. Anybody? We got questions? No. Everything's been answered. Founders taking piss breaks, not going to make it. Whatever happened to bottles? Well, he had to get a charger, bro. I'm sure he would have bottled it if he needed to. When slate list? I'm making a slate list. I'm checking it twice. It's bad bitches only on it, so don't even bother applying.
Bars.
Cuddles. What kind of money is DeGod's making off the Killer Threes? I don't think we're making any money, man. We're making like advertisement, and we're changing the name to DeGods next year. We weren't able to.
We're changing the name to DeGods, and technically we could sell the team whenever we wanted. So it's more of a, if you have when questions for the Killer Threes, point them in Ice Cube's direction. He's the dev.
Once Ice Cube gets that league
either that
going,
or
then we'll be in the money.
Jeff.
And Jeff, yep, and Jeff. You guys got to listen to this episode we put out with this guy named Jeff Quatnitz. He's the co-founder of Big Three, and he's a fucking goon. He threatened to whoop Mark Anthony's ass on
He's
air.
a monster. I love Jeff.
He was hammered, I think. Maybe not.
Oh, my God.
Where's the Horser? I don't know where Horser is. Diamond Hand Killer Threes. Is that what we like for a team name? Better than just, Frank, what are we going to change the Killer Threes name to? Just D-Gods?
Yeah.
Just team.
Gotta be,
Gods,
bro.
Not Team D-Gods, just D-Gods.
Yeah, DeGod just sounds. DeGod slaps, bro.
So
Okay.
Frank, I want to ask about Killer Threes a little bit. Like back in the day, like when we were first like hyping that up, you were saying like we were going to get people from the community and like maybe some kid from Fallujah that had like some expert basketball like skills or something to like do plays and stuff. But I haven't seen any like community sourcing of coaching or anything like that. So is that going to be in the future or no?
Actually, like there was one guy, but I actually just knew he's not part of the DeGod's community like that hardcore, but he has a DeGod, but he's a friend from my real life named Jerry. And Jerry, he's like one of the I've ever met in my whole life, and he used to do sports betting for like a living, betting on like multi-million-dollar bankrolls. And as soon as we bought the team, he was the first guy. I just never met anybody that was about basketball than him. And so we kind of went through all the teams. Obviously, the season didn't go as we wanted it to. Kind of sucks. But I think that, the team that ended up winning Trilogy to that team post, when all the teams got bought. And so they had who they traded for. And even like Three-Headed Monsters, they didn't even get acquired because like we weren't sure if one of their core guys was going to play on the team this year when we were making the decision. So I'm hyped that we went with the Killer Threes, but he would send these scouting reports, like massive, like fucking 5-paragraph long scouting reports to the team over text. We had a group chat.
I saw you posted one. It was fire.
Yeah. Like the players loved it and they were speak. And so that was sick. But dude, to be honest, when it clicked for me that we just own the team outright and we just like have it, and we don't have any operating expenses on it, it seemed like a no-brainer to focus on more of the Web3 shit than on the team itself with the amount of team members that we have right now this year. And so there wasn't as much of a priority. I was so hyped to go to games. I didn't even get to go to a fucking game this year. But
yeah,
it's a long journey, and I like our core guys. Like I love Frank Nitti. He minted a U. He's been asking me so many questions.
Oh wow, let's go.
Yo, let's fucking go. Yo, shout out to Frank Nitti.
Which is dope. But no, overall, I mean, it's just not the priority right now, but we have really like no stress. Like, what am I, we don't spend any more money on it. We have it.
For real.
We don't really need to do anything. And
we don't have to
what
pay
I'm
salaries.
What I'm saying though is like, let's Web3 the fuck out of it, and let's get some fucking geniuses that are like cooped up in their basement in Fallujah or whatever. They can't go outside.
Pause. What the fuck is Fallujah?
It's a city, man. It's a city in the Middle East. But I'm saying
Just
let's get those people from that are like, in the middle of nowhere or like would never have a chance to like participate in something like this, and let's fucking use their brain power. I don't know, let's set them on a board. They can buy some NFTs or something. Let's like bring it to the full level that it can be at.
I think we need to bridge the gap between Web3 and Web2, and we need Mickey DeGods in the fucking stadium whipping up burgers. We need barreled out in the concessions, slinging beers and shandies and shit. I feel like that's the big opening.
Like
that would be fucking sick, bro. Like you pull up to a Big 3 event and you've got like all this DeGods Utes branded food and shit in the concessions. Like that, I think would be the coolest, meshing of the two.
All the IRL ideas, bro.
I'm not a Web3 guy, bro. I'm a Web0 guy.
Facts.
Yeah, I think that's really, by the time the season starts next year, my ambition for where this thing is going to be, obviously, like number one project in the world, just like I want to make this like project so big and our stacked and elite that we're on top of everything. And like my dream vision for DeGods, for Utes, and any community that we build, I wanted to feel literally like the digital fucking Soho house. And so buy your fucking DeGod, you buy your Ute. You have an onboarding experience. It's like, hey, this is the new holders welcome. Here, come to it if you want. It's a mixer, on the internet. These are the IRL events happening near you. This is the discount codes and the perks that you get. These are the people in the community. You want to fill out your profile. You can meet other people that have similar interests. Like that to me is like, fuck, that's like as elite as it could get. And it's the type of shit you can explain to your mom of why this thing has value. You can explain to your fucking friends why it has value. And I think it'll change a lot as we continue to build in this path. But I think the Killer Threes is always going to be a part of it. Like our basketball team will be a part of it. But I think we have a long way to go before that becomes like, anything that core members of the team are deeply like focused on, as much as it is like, I think it was a price at the time. It actually like forced us to convert a lot of our treasury into USDC right before the crash. Big dub right there. Holy fucking shit.
Go.
Holy shit, what a day. Thank you, shout out to fucking Killer Threes just for that. And we made it back. We made the investment because people, it's so funny. You look at the chart and the day we announced it, just like it's the same shit, dude. And I see people in the chat. Let me just say this. If you have ever been a part of DeGods in the past and you are concerned about dip today, it's like literally, bro, I can't make this shit up. Like every big announcement that we've had, people fucking feel so smart and so clever, and then they go sell the news, and then they go fucking dip, and then look at what happens every fucking time. Like literally every time, bear market, bull market, doesn't matter. If you think the team has changed and we haven't been planning shit just like we have ever since basically DeGodCast launched, I've figured out, me and the team have figured out a new way to like fuck the market a little bit, like change the way people that are trying to speculate on what we're doing, they're going to try to use their classic rules to do it. And the way we structure, the way we do things here is cognizant of that. And I know that people are going to be fucking like hyping up, selling the news, screenshotting the charts, whatever. But if history is any indicator here, like every time this happens, we make a big announcement. Killer Threes, we buy the team. Fat fucking dip, massive red candles for 2 days in a row. A week and a half later, we hit all-time highs and break and become the first Solana NFT to hit 400 sold.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that.
Duppy, and then we announced Duppy.
It's a 2-month downward spiral
at which there was like lows. People were a bit more demoralized, and then we end up hitting, we end up becoming a top 5 NFT project in the world. And so similar with this, I'm worried about where we're at right now. I'm not worried. I'm excited about all the work that needs to be done, but it's just not going to be a smooth road. But we're not going to just leave you guys in the dark, but just let us let us operate, and you guys show up and you keep being a fucking great community. If ends of the bargain, we're going to be fine. I think that's the
Frank,
I think that's
we could be the #1 project in the world, and I'm going to be talking shit in the Discord, and you know this. So I don't know what to say besides that.
Discord is cancer, and it's because of people like you, Slate.
Hey, fuck that. I love the Discord, bro. So
first of all, thanks a lot for that, because I literally got dunked on by a fucking basey PFP today because I was responding to some tweet about this is a top for DeGods, Dust is a shit coin, whatever, and I hit him with like the remind me of this in 2 weeks, and then we fucking announced Dust Labs and everything drops. Like not even that much. Like I think we're where we were like 9 days ago. It's not like a crazy dip, but he's replying on it like, guess you didn't have to wait 2 weeks.
Hit him with another remind me, bro. Hit him with another remind me.
Yeah, but that's facts. So like that literally is the fucking motto. Like just vibe, have a good time, let the team do their thing. Discounts, IRL events, and all that shit. Dude, we have the framework almost there. Like you look at Mountain Pay, you look at Cardinal Labs, like that shit is so fucking close. I think, you're talking about onboarding people to the team. Let's get like an IRL division of DeGods. Like let's get a GM maybe for, the whole big 3 thing. Let's get a GM or somebody for like a fucking esports league, bro. Get a full ass like DeGods esports team. I literally know nothing about that, but that seems like something people are hyped about. I'm assuming they have like events and shit. But like, bro,
hire JB.
Well, I feel like that's one of the big draws to Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? It's like, oh, I own this expensive PFP, and it's like this exclusive club, and I get to go to events and blah blah blah. Like, let's do more of that shit. Fuck it. Like, people are always asking for it. Yeah, but let's recap some stuff, I guess, and then we can, finishing thoughts, whatever. I'm scrolling through the chat here. Lots of L's from Mr. Cuddles. Let's just recap, like, a little bit of Ute stuff, a little bit of Dust Labs stuff. So Dust Labs, real quick, scholarship tool, probably not like, the first thing that we're that's going to be the Dust Labs product, right?
Up in the air.
Okay.
Air. I think we need to. For me, it's like Kevin and I just need to sit down and game plan a little bit, because maybe while the initial phase of kind of like the raise and just game planning out for Dust Labs, the concept with scholarships, I think right now it feels a little bit like maybe that's not like an example for another thing we're planning to build. Like, and this will give people color into like the scope of Dust Labs, like becoming so big so quickly with DeGods and being on Solana and not a lot of like infrastructure or whatever it is. We've learned a lot about tax compliance. Like, this has become a big part of our lives, not only just running DeGods on a personal level, but just in general, like for a project that's made, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but technically any product that's trying to be compliant, if you store any of your, when you get royalties, you owe taxes on those royalties at the moment that the royalty wallet hits your wallet in USD. So if you actually think about it, and we've stopped doing this, if you check the blockchain like about 6-7 months ago, or maybe not some of it we did, but I think for majority, like 3-4 months ago, we stopped like keeping SOL in the treasury. Like, we have SOL in there, but every Solana that hits the wallet, we convert to USD, not because of our trading strategy, but because if we want to get more SOL exposure, we can buy back into SOL. But for tax compliance, we need to make sure we can set aside enough so that like we can pay taxes for the fucking DAO. And so
I hate taxes.
Like what we built for ourselves, which is an auto converter bot that will also log the tax payments as well. Like, we can sell it to DAOs and take a BIP on the fucking, like a spread on the transaction itself. It's like a no-brainer. And so the gamut isn't just like viral, sexy product ideas. For me as a founder, I've taken a pretty big stance on this internally with the team, that I never want to hear our team branding ourselves as like a utility project. I don't want people to brand DeGods or Utes as like tech products, even if there is a lot of technology like involved in the process of doing any of this stuff. That's not, I don't think, what will let us scale with these brands. And so to me, it's very important that the tech feels invisible. That being said, there's been a lot of shit internally that we built to pay out moderators, on time and make that a recurring payment, track their fucking activity, whatever. And also on the other side, like, with this tax compliance stuff, a lot of like the more unsexy B2B stuff is what we'll
like
be
practical
building
shit
with Dust Lab as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. I mean, yeah, if you ship me a Dust TurboTax, I'll use that shit in a heartbeat, because God knows I might
That's
just
what
not
the
pay
streets
taxes.
need, bro. We
Yeah.
all
All
need.
right, bro.
real.
Don't say that. We're gonna have to edit that part out.
Yeah. I love
NFA.
taxes. God bless America. Fuck, I can't even front about that.
It's tough.
Okay.
It's just tough, man. It's a lot to figure out. It's daunting, is what it is.
Yeah,
don't
that's
even know what
exactly
to
what
do.
it is. It's like almost impossible. Okay, and Utes stuff. So like 1,300 wait list. However many spots are left, go to yoot.wtf. We've tweeted it. It'll show you how many
There were
spots
some
are left.
raffles too, right? There was some sort of raffle, or is that with the wait list, or what's going on there?
Oh yeah,
With what?
That's
Isn't there
the
like a youth
rejected
raffle or something with Dust?
Yeah, there is. It's going to happen after the wait list.
Okay. So
So
solid chance if you're on the wait list. Go ahead, chapter.
so roadmap, like, is it going to be drawn, or is it going to be like an actual like?
It's going to be
I don't know,
another new
PDF.
way of doing the roadmap.
It's gonna be a song. It's gonna be only audio.
Yeah.
Fucking
Literally-
Island Boys coming back.
Wham, wham, wham. Bitch, I'm a little baby.
Yeah, okay. Youths reveal Monday. Art's gonna be a little different, but it's gonna absolutely fuck. Can we get the artists on the pod now, or are they already working on like the next collection? Like, what are them boys doing?
Get them on literally on Tuesday next week.
All right.
Say
We've
less.
been
We've been trying
trying.
for a month, so down for that. Okay. Oh, I actually had a question, and I forgot to bring this up when we talked about like the OTC flag. So y'all loans, right? If I'm looking at a tube or a Ute on y'all, and I want to fund it and they default, that's not going to be like an OTC situation where you might get flagged and you might, lose benefits from staking or things like that.
My thing is, like, we're just going to take a common sense approach to it. Like, we
Sure.
are going to, for example, right now, right? Like, fuck. we've been so busy with fixing all the bugs and all this stuff. The last thing I want to do is announce like the fucking royalty blocking thing. Although we're still gonna do it. Like, let me get through this process, and then we'll just like, if someone did it already, you know what I mean, and like the buyer got fucked or whatever, like, you know, fuck, we'll start it going forward. Where people misunderstand my purpose for wanting to, you know, prevent people from like trading on 0% royalty markets. It's not that I'm some fucking evil dictator that's trying to take your rights away for your NFT. It's just more like we're business owners. We do lose a lot of capital like to run this business. And if you guys wanted a smoother mint, maybe, you know, we would have been able to hire 2 more fucking engineers if we had more fun. And that's like real. Like, we're not spending money on fucking Lambos out here, you know? And so to me, I just think we're not pussies. And like, if the market goes where it's just zero royalties for anything, like, we'll figure it out. That's not what I'm worried about. My thing is, it's a revenue stream right now. Why would I encourage people like not giving us revenue? Like, as a business owner, like, why would I not try to protect a revenue stream that we have? And I'm just not a fucking evil dictator that's gonna come in and like fucking put a dick on your NFT, or like, you know, just be super non-understanding of edge cases or whatever it is. It's just more like, yeah, we just want to have a policy that says, hey, like, trade with fucking royalties. We'll lower our royalties to make it easier on you. Like, we'll do this, we'll do that. And like, the fact that people complain about that, dude, is just, I'm bullish, and I'm glad that we, you know, raised with us labs. I'm glad that we're crushing with volume right now. And I don't know, like, I'm just not worried. I think we're going to test a lot of stuff. It's going to throw a lot of people off. But if we just keep delivering what I know we're going to deliver, we'll be fine. And minting has just never been our strong suit, guys. All right, fucking be mad about the mint. But like, once the mint is out and we can start moving more agile, like, it's gonna be a lot more fun. It's gonna be a lot more fun.
My opinion is that it's your product.
I actually hate the big news days, because everything always just dips on those news days, especially when we get a lot of attention. And so, when do we have the most speculators and DeGods? There's like 3 big moments. There's like DeGod's coming out, you know, fucking killer threes, and then now obviously with Utes. And the same thing always happens in these scenarios. So for me, I just like, all right, bro, like, expected pretty much, and we're ready to fucking go. And then what always happens after the fucking dip, like, come on, bro. But yeah, we're just gonna need some time.
To me, it's like, it's your product. It's the DDAO or the core team's product, and like, no one's entitled to reap the benefits of that without playing by the rules that have been set up for them. And I mean,
the Kevin Rose idea about like slowly degrading the art if they don't pay royalties, that shit cracked me the fuck up, bro. Like, what if you know, instead of like a metadata tag where you don't pay royalties and it gets like flagged on Magic Eden, like, we swap the image with like a baby DeGod. If you trade OTC or something, bro, that would be fucking hilarious. When and where will the next official DeGods event be?
Not sure.
People have been spamming the chat asking about London party or something. I don't know what they're talking about.
Do you know? In UK DeGods, you mentioned one time that they're a good sub DAO, and all of a sudden they're all over the place. No, I'm just kidding. I love those boys. Yeah, Vegas is not an official event. That's K Money's birthday party. Shout out the homie. Why do you hate Nippies, Frank? Because they made you change the art and delay Duppies another month? Well, then why don't you buy one? I'm just playing. I'm running out of questions to ask. The chat's running out of questions to ask. Frank, do you have any questions for us to ask?
I have a request.
Okay.
You know, I know there's people in the DDAO right now listening, and people, you know, in the broader community. Like, if I could convey one thing, you don't have to believe me right now. Let time tell. If I could convey one thing, like, we have your best intentions at heart, and we want to like make shit right if we don't do it right. And if you have a logical point that is valid, you know, we will definitely consider it. I just wish that people would, at some point, I don't know when, will give us the benefit of the doubt that we definitely have DeGod holders' best intentions in mind. We definitely have you holders' best intentions in mind, and we definitely have Dust holders' best intentions in mind. And I wish, you know, people would just give us a little bit more a benefit of the doubt that, hey, like, before jumping to conclusions and making assumptions and then writing essays on those assumptions. Like,
Facts.
just like let
Yeah.
it fucking happen. Like, 'cause
Frank,
I have I got a word. I got a word of
Go ahead.
advice for those DGOTS holders. Because here's the thing. I imagine, I mean, obviously there's the outliers who are going to be vocal no matter what, and who just, love
row.
I literally was going to say row, you motherfucker. But yeah, but even row, like, he usually does have a good point or whatever. But I do assume that a lot of the people who come in firing off ideas, because I've seen it in group chats, like these DGOTS peer pressure group chats, trying to get people, to buy gods, whatever. And they just come in firing off new ideas. I've bought DGOTS at 3 soul, 4 soul, 7 soul, 8 soul, 15 soul, 18 soul, 27 soul, 37 soul, 48
All right,
soul,
God
and
damn, bro.
490 soul.
Is that a
And like
spreadsheet?
I've never fucking bought a bottom. Like, yeah, we've dipped a little bit now, but that's because all these floor gods have probably claimed their tube already. So like,
Well, there's constantly new people coming in. There's constantly new people coming in, and they're gonna kind of spaz sometimes.
That's what I'm saying.
When they
That's
don't
for
know
the
what
new
fuck's
people.
going on.
That's for the new people. Kick back, get drained, not your wallet, anything else, and just let Frank pump your bag, bro, because he's really fucking good at it. The guy doesn't spend 15 hours a day in Twitter Spaces not trying to pump our bags. So
He's literally
That's all I
not going
gotta
to take Eden on vacation for us.
Bars.
Hey, yo, convince
it's one of
Finn.
those things where like I feel grateful that I'm in an environment where I'm working with really close friends that, I'm like pretty figured out. I like figured myself out as a person over these like really intense experiences. And so like when people say really nice things about, me or the team or whatever it is, it doesn't really it doesn't gas me. When people say negative things, it just feels like I'm getting better with it, but like it is to grow up at a rate that is pretty intense, and I'm just kind of taking everything on the chin. But it's kind of annoying sometimes when I feel like I'm going out of my way to do everything for the benefit of the community and the holders, and I just don't know what you can point to in the past that we've done that has not been for that. And I just wish like people would understand that a little bit more, but it's okay because like I said, I'm not a pussy and it's fine. And I can take a little bit of shit, a lot of shit on the internet, but that is just something that, maybe like, man, the team, like we all know our culture and our principles, and the team is like the one priority. And we just have to make fucking $50 million at this point if we wanted to. And we haven't. And
Easily,
man. Like that's the hardest part.
Yeah, you guys gotta charge real money for something eventually, dude. Y'all haven't charged us a penny since fucking last October.
Yo, I understand that, Frank, and I feel for you. And I'm sorry if like anything I ever say comes off that way. I'm always fucking around. Obviously, I trust you guys have been here since the beginning, so like, you got me.
No, it's all good. It's like I don't want to create a culture where people like can't criticize us because we get enough criticism for being like a
constructive
anyway. It's just more like, like there's such a clear difference between like them and not. Even like as I'm going through the DeGod chat, some people like, dude, the YouTube account is gonna die. Like, how could you be doing these tweets? And then Amy comes in and she just says like, no, I'll give you an example of a good side where it's like Amy comes in and says, hey, like, wait, I gotta find this tweet. I mean, this
Pond or Street?
Amy in the DDAO? Oh,
Yeah.
Amy Pond.
No, I read
Amy
that
Pond,
shit.
Amy
No,
Pond.
she was like,
Pond.
yeah, she's like,
Amy Pond is
Amy
a goat.
Pond.
She's a G.
Yeah, she's the one that slapped balaclavas on all our gods back in the day.
She says, okay, yeah, so everyone is kind of talking shit about the Twitter, which is fine. Do it. I don't care. If you want me to actually make a change, like if you actually want me to like listen to you and make
Tell me why.
I'll read exactly what Amy wrote. She goes, I like turning notifications on for accounts I want to keep up with. And I don't like the idea that I'm from mutes because all the memes shit post. I like the idea, but more like guy style and more laid back, less tweets, more structured, etc. I know this experiment will also and we'll learn from it and evolve, but just wanted to share my opinion. Like that is a perfect.
Amy's a
like,
fucking G.
Shout out to Amy.
She's like, first she explains like her issue from a personal level. Like she likes turning the post notification. Says, she doesn't want this people to miss notifications. Okay, that's a clear problem point for herself and then potentially for others. And then she's like, gives a suggestion on how to do it better. Like I saw that and I literally went to the chat with the Twitter guys and I was like, yo guys, slow down. Let's focus on replies now and let's try that. So easy for me to take that information and make a quick decision on it. If people are debating my intentions or like the future implications of this in a dramatic way, I am conditioned to be calm 24/7 on if I'm not, then we're all fucked. Because like
I don't know how you do that, by the way. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, so I have to stay calm. So if you're going to be very dramatic, intense about how this is going to ruin everything, you're just making it harder for to implement the changes that you want to happen. And this is not just Frank and then the DeGods community. This is like in life. The calmest dude in the room like always wins. Like being calm helps get somebody else and allows them to digest it for themselves. And dude, like constructive criticism, then just spewing whatever the fuck because you want to, and like nothing wrong with it. I have nothing wrong with that because like fuck it, it's the internet. People do whatever they want. I'm just saying if you want to actually be heard, typically like and like trying to find a better solution or suggesting one is typically like the way to go, I think. But yeah,
bars. You trying to do a shoey real quick?
Fucking JV.
Frank, can you kick it with us for a second after we cut this?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I think I mean that was a good one, man. I'm glad we give you a platform to, maybe express a little frustration, a little bit of the less of the marble facade that the rest of CT sees and the Twitter spaces see, and a little bit more of the what's actually going on with Frank, because God knows, you deserve to vent a little bit. You deserve for, shit to not all be, rainbows and blowjobs all the time. So we appreciate you coming on and answering our questions and dropping a little alpha for us.
If I was Frank, I would have sent this shit to zero out of spite. Like 7 months ago.
Nah, straight up though. No, but real talk though, Frank. Appreciate you coming out and keeping it real, bro.
Amazing. Yes, appreciate you very much. Chat, thanks for coming out. Frank, thanks for pumping our bags. You're doing a great job, and you're going to continue to do a great job. We really appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Let's fucking go.
Hang out for a second.
Yeah.